Good morning. Up and at 'em for day 2. Having my morning tea. And today I'm gonna just run right outside my front door. Good morning, baby Koopa. Oh, look at the tail. Oh, so excited. What's up? It is day 2 of my run across America. That is my apartment building. I just left from my front door. Yesterday afternoon, I finished at my front door. That is the luxury of starting in my hometown. Halfway through the day today, heading into downtown, and the dogs are a little tired, so I figured we'd walk and just give a little bit of a fuller picture of what we're doing out here and why. Just a few days ago, the Tennessee governor pushed a bill through the state Congress banning gender-affirming health care for Tennessee youth. They are also proposing a bill that would make drag illegal, which essentially, because it's of the ambiguous nature in their definition of drag, effectively bans being openly transgender in public. These bills eliminate access to hormone replacement therapy and surgeries in the state. Essentially, the law ambiguously describes just, let's say, like a man dressing, wearing a dress is illegal in public now in Tennessee, which, as we know, transgender people are not cross-dressers. We are not in drag. These things are completely separate things. But because there's no nuance and it's just out of complete ignorance about anything remotely related to gender, that is what this bill is intended to do. Now, this anti-drag bill was signed days after a picture of Tennessee's governor surfaced of him in drag a couple decades ago. Several other pictures have surfaced in the media, such as those of George Santos in drag and other Republican legislators. So what this tells us is this: these folks are not against dressing up in whatever clothes you want. The purported party of freedom is maintaining their notion that they're not against self-expression for them, because it's different when a man wears woman's clothing than for a transgender woman to just simply exist. So the logic of that is wild. The mental gymnastics of that are insane, because on the one hand, they're saying that transgender women or transgender people are just dressing up as the opposite gender, but then at the same time, when there are pictures and evidence of them dressing up as the opposite gender, they say, well, that's different. Explain to me how that's different. I mean, it's pretty funny, because when you let these people talk long enough, they talk themselves into or out of their own crazy ideology. But unfortunately, it's only funny so long before you realize that there are very material, tangible, real consequences. Now, the data shows that banning access to gender-affirming healthcare for youth causes suicide rates in trans and queer youth to spike. Data also shows that when even just one person in the life of a trans child respects their pronouns, suicide rates go down by 80%. This data speaks to how important it is, on even just the most fundamental level of respecting names and pronouns, how important it is to affirm the gender of transgender people, especially transgender youth, who are growing up in a country that is teaching them to hate themselves. in the beautiful town of Rosemead, right outside of LA. Rosemead is significant to me because I grew up running a cross-country invitational race every year at this park in Rosemead. So when I think of Rosemead, I think of my high school cross-country career. I just looked, we did about 16 miles today. Pretty good for day 2. Don't want to push it too much. And now we're just waiting for my dad to come and pick us up. Okay, my dad just picked us up and now we're gonna go get food.